I think my favourite thing about working in the automotive industry is that first and foremost I'm a car reviewer, so I get to test all the different cars that go on sale globally, week in, week out, so that can be anything from supercars right down to little city hatchbacks and from big V12s to pure electric, and that's fantastic.
My favourite thing about working in the automotive industry, as a painter especially, is it's a very satisfying job. I quite like taking a car from being damaged and having a repair over it, and then almost being the final piece of the puzzle once it's painted, polished and going out the door again.
So my favourite thing working in the automotive industry would probably be the people, the customers and the culture. Every day is different and it's very fast paced. I love that about it.
I think the one thing that I've really focused on in my career in order to get results actually is making sure that I just maintain my energy levels because, you know, I have multiple outlets. I'm pushing multiple agendas at the moment. You know, we've got so much going on in the automotive industry. We've got going electric, we've got the much bigger sustainability issues, we've got huge diversity and inclusion issues, and they all seem to be coming to the fore at the same point. So, you know, if you're a journalist and you're tackling all those different issues, both B2B and B2C, across multiple platforms for multiple publishers, I say energy is the number one thing.
To get results in my job, I focus a lot on my attention to detail. By doing that, it will help my standards stay high throughout my career.
You should be better than you was yesterday. That should be our slogan. Be better than you was yesterday.
Look at that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's a fair statement, and it's something that we're both working on. And look at the gap in between us. We both do different lines of work, but we both go by the same rule of thumb, really.
Yeah. It's the only way to do it.
I entered the industry 20 years ago when I joined the Daily Telegraph's motoring desk, and I faced some huge challenges then because there were very few women in automotive. It was very male dominated, it was quite a patronising place to be if you were a woman. I kind of largely got ignored when I went on launches for quite a few years, so it was tough, it really was, but I just kept going.
The main challenge, I think, was my own self-confidence. When I first started, I was very shy, but after I sort of started getting to know everybody that worked there, I sort of eased in, and now it's no problem at all. I think I overcame it more by just pushing myself to talk to new people, start conversations with the people around me to build better relationships.
I haven't faced any challenges whilst joining the automotive industry, and I've had a lot of support from my friends and family.
I remember one day this guy came in, he goes, I'd like to buy some alloy wheels. And I says, oh, okay, yeah, what are you looking for? He goes, oh no, can I speak to one of the lads? What for? I know about alloy wheels. Oh no, I want someone with a bit more experience, I think. I was like, okay, whatever. So I pointed him in my manager's direction, and Scotty was proper sound. He says, the guy walks up to him and says, can I speak to you about some wheels? He goes, yeah, one moment, I'll just get our performance specialist. All right!
Unreal.
I think I made a bit of a mistake when I started my automotive career because I was very aware that there weren't many women, and I thought I had to be kind of ultra blokey to kind of prove my worth. So I doubled down on kind of lots of jargony, techie language around how cars performed, around their engineering qualities, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just concentrated on the fact that I was a woman.
I only felt like I needed to prove myself more for my own self-belief and ego, more than trying to prove myself as a female or because of what people might perceive I need to be.
Yes, I do feel I needed to do more to prove myself in the industry, but more for myself than anyone else making me feel that way. When I joined LKQ Euro Car Parts, I was the only female leader doing what I'd done, and I was surrounded by males who had been in the business for a very long time, very talented and successful at what they'd done, and I just wanted to show that I got to where I am today based on my skills, you know, my love of the job and my passion, as opposed to me getting there because of me being a female.
Nowadays, I get a lot of support and really positive reaction from all my peers in the industry that I work with. I think they recognise the benefit of having women working both in the industry but also women that are consumer facing, to be able to bridge those gaps that exist hugely between female automotive consumers, the buyers of cars, and the brands who are trying to sell their products to them.
I've had very positive reactions from my peers. My mentor and the other painters around me are very supportive and have been very helpful with my progress.
So the reactions I received from my peers as I progressed throughout the industry, majority of them were really happy for me and excited. I'd say I more had challenges outside of the industry, so through friends and family who wanted to question whether or not I got to where I was based on my race or the fact of my gender as opposed to my own merit.
To be fair, I was never not accepted. Yeah, same. And I have more male friends than I have female friends. Yeah. And we were saying yesterday, all of our support comes from men. Yeah. Like anyone I call, like even then when we had that bit of a mishap, just to pick someone's brain, I called a male friend. Yeah. I didn't call no girl. Yeah.
From the moment that I obviously worked in a big dealership, as soon as I was there, everybody just like was there to help you, and everybody was like, all the boys clubbed together to help me. Probably wouldn't have done it for each other. But if they see me getting into difficulty, they'd have been like, you know, we'll give you a hand.
I think the biggest obstacle I faced when starting my career was there was this huge perception that in automotive media you kind of needed to know an awful lot about cars first and foremost, and the journalistic side of it came second to that. And that's so not the case. You know, I think a lot of women in particular, but also anyone who doesn't know a lot about cars, is then put off a career in automotive journalism, and they shouldn't be. You can pick up the knowledge you need around the industry later, but if you have that core skill set, that's the crucial bit.
I haven't faced any challenges in this working environment. I feel like there's quite a stigma around women working in the automotive industry and it being a male-dominated industry, and that needs to be squashed.
It's a misconception that they're not going to work as hard. I don't know whether it's because people think that girls are just not suited. It's a very stereotypical environment, but they work just as hard. And like I say, the suggestion to them is just to go to these places, show them that you can work hard, and it shouldn't be about proving themselves really, but I suppose that's how we're going to get in as a female in that type of industry.
I feel now that I really can achieve anything that I put my mind to, because it's taken me 20 years to reach a seniority within the industry at a European level, and to get there it's taken a lot of kind of pushing at doors, facing rejection, not taking no for an answer, all those old cliches, but they're true, you know. If you take women's lifestyle media as an example, I've had to bang on the door of editors of magazines for years to persuade them to carry car content that they felt wasn't relevant for their audience. But when I pointed out how many of their audience drove cars, you know, I managed to persuade them, but it took forever. So, you know, tenacity is key.
Since joining 3 years ago, I've learned a lot about electric cars and hybrids, and I've learned a lot about the diagnostic side of vehicles, which I didn't know before.
Do I believe that I could achieve anything now? Yes, I do. When I joined LKQ Euro Car Parts, I didn't drive, I didn't know about cars, I didn't know about car parts. I'd only ever worked in an office environment. I'd never been out in the field, which is what I do now. I used to face customers who would refuse to deal with me just for the simple fact of me being a woman. To see the relationships that I have built across my customer base and my colleague base, and to see where I am now to where I started, I definitely know I can do anything.
For employers looking to attract women into the industry, I would say look outside the industry. I would say stop trying to recruit from within the industry. You know, it's not vital that everyone working in the industry knows about cars, loves cars or drives a car, and actually we would benefit a whole lot more, I think, in this industry if we stopped being so navel-gazing and looked outside to recruit people who could bring another view.
One piece of advice I would give to an employer, I think there's almost too much focus on bringing women into the trade, and I think there should be more focus on the skills we could bring and finding people who actually enjoy the job and want to do it, rather than just trying to bring women in for the sake of bringing women into the trade.
One piece of advice that I would give is to really push women into this industry so that future women can come in and see that the workshop already has more women in here, and it would make them feel more comfortable joining.
I do think they need more support. Now, I know we shouldn't be treated differently because that's not right. However, if you get a young 17-year-old girl going into a group full of lads, they've got no life experience, they've got no life skill, they don't really know how to handle themselves. Like we were saying the other day, you've got to hold your own. You've literally got to hold your own. So I suppose you need a bit of support.
I've faced a huge amount of challenges and people questioning my ability because of my gender. Not now, although I say not now, but even 20 years into my career as editorial director at Auto Trader, I still get people come up and ask my male partner, who knows nothing and cares less about cars, what he thinks and for his opinion as opposed to mine. It's incredible. It just shows that it takes so much to overturn this natural unconscious bias around gender that is in the automotive industry. But most of the challenges I faced were early on in my career and thankfully don't exist anymore.
I've never had anyone directly challenge me because of my gender, but there was probably a lot of prejudgments made when I first started. But coming in and just proving myself to just get on with my job, and if I need any help with anything, if anything's heavy, then just going and ask. But I've never experienced myself any negative comeback from that.
I did face challenges because of my gender, but not from the people I worked with, more from the customers that I was going out to see. Obviously, it's a male-dominated industry. They're not used to seeing women come out and talk about things that they don't think we should know. I also believe by cultivating confidence, I have managed to turn around the perception from, especially the customers in London, that a female can actually do the job as well as a male.
What I wish I'd known 20 years ago when I was starting out is that you shouldn't ever be ashamed of who you are or try to become someone else. And 20 years ago, all I could think was, how can I make myself more blokey? You know, how can I talk about oversteer and understeer and rear wheel drive and chassis and suspension? Instead of focusing on who I am and believing that I have a lot to offer the industry with the kind of person I am. So I wish I'd been more true to myself, that I'd celebrated the fact that I was a woman in the industry, that gave me a rare viewpoint, and that I had exploited that.
What I know now that I wish I first knew when I started in the industry is you can make mistakes and fail. It doesn't matter, it's not going to stop you from getting any further than where you need to go. In fact, if anything, it's going to help you progress. For me personally, I believe that by making the mistakes that I did, it's brought me the success that it has. And if I didn't have those learning curves, I would never have got to where I am today, knowing the things that I know.
Something I wish I knew is the fact that no one would really care that I was a female entering the trade. Before I started, I was quite worried that I would get backlash from it from people in the workshop, but knowing what I know now is everybody's been very welcoming and helpful throughout my year being there.
When I first entered this industry, I wish that I knew that there's nothing to be afraid of, that with hard work and support from everyone around you, that anything's possible, anything's achievable, and that you shouldn't be discouraged because of your gender.
I think for me, it's confidence. So when I first started out, I would second guess myself constantly. Did I do this right? Did I do that wrong? And I would hold my hands up, and you're not the first to know that I've done a car and say I've done a bottom ball joint. This is years ago. And I've been that worried that I've not done it up properly. I've snuck out the house at night to go and check the car. Yeah. Because I was so paranoid that I'd not done it. And I had. Of course I'd done it. Yeah. But you just second guess yourself all the time. But that comes with experience. Yeah. And with experience comes confidence. Yeah. And that takes time. That's not something that just comes to you.
I'm always giving women advice, actually, especially women that want to come into the automotive industry to do car content. And I say, just make sure, well, one, believe in yourself. Secondly, make sure you've got that skill set, that kind of skill set that's going to underpin the knowledge. The knowledge can come second. Just make sure that you can write well, that you can write accurately into deadlines, that you ask the right questions and that you are accurate, that you have a grounding in libel and shorthand and all those core journalistic skills, then you can learn about cars.
If I could give a woman one piece of advice to get into this industry, it would just be to go for it, jump right in. It's a lot of fun, you're going to have fun, so just go for it.
I would suggest, as I did as a form tutor, go into garages, see what they can offer you as an employee, but push it, follow your dreams, make people know that you're for real and that that's what you want to do. And I think somewhere along the lines you will succeed.
The advice I'd give a female wanting to come into the automotive industry is take the leap, the rewards are endless, recognise your own strength and don't let the fact of you being a female or your gender stop you from making a decision that could be the best decision you've ever made. So for me, I love what I do. I enjoy it every single day being different. I love my team, I love my customers, and I really am excited to see where the automotive trade is going in the future.
I'm really pleased to see so many more women in the industry, in every facet of the industry today than there were 20 years ago, but there still aren't enough women. No way are there enough. So we have to keep up with, opening up those pipelines in every sector of automotive, because without far stronger female representation across all sectors, we won't engage female consumers and they won't engage with our brands and buy our products.